A new law is in effect in Wyoming and Utah. Well, we're not far behind. Hey, I'm Adam Eagle, and thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we've been telling you about the small lake trout population problem here at Flaming Gorge for decades. And now the Division of Wildlife Resources and our friends over at Wyoming Game and Fish have finally figured out a way for anglers to come up here and catch and keep as many as they want. We're gonna get on the water and tell you all about it. It's a beautiful morning as we launch at Buckboard Marina. There isn't a breath of wind, and small lake trout fishing in October can be some of the best of the year. And thanks to a new Wyoming regulation, you can catch and keep as many as you want. If you don't want them, you can dispose of them.
Yeah, so in Wyoming, that started on October 1st, we went to unlimited harvest on small lake trout, so those under 28 inches. The ones over 28 inches are still going to be one. So people can still claim their trophy lake trout if they want one. We heard during our public comment period that anglers really wanted to see a little bit more protection on kokanee. Our Creole didn't really show that, but you know, a few more kokanee in the reservoir certainly isn't going to be a bad thing. So our kokanee limit was decreased back to 3, and that'll be the same for Utah. It's just their regulation isn't going to go into effect until January 1st.
We have been doing good this whole month of September. We've managed to find where the pre-spawn fish are hanging out, and we've been doing actually really well. So putting on a little bit of scoping and just barely hooking it so that the gap of the hook's all available to hook these fish. They can be really difficult to get that hook to penetrate, so you want to have plenty of gap there to hold them. See what happens.
Biologists have been trying to warn the public for years that the population of small lake trout was out of control at the gorge.
Fish on over there. 2019,
they raised the limit to 12 fish per day, 24 in possession. And angler harvest on small lake trout actually went up from 30% to 60%. But biologists say that still wasn't enough.
There he is. There's a fish. On the drop rod?
On the drop.
Our population estimate was 143,000, which is about 2 to 3 times higher than it was in the 80s and early 90s, which is the last time we did a population estimate. So there's a lot more small lake trout out here, and we got to thin them down so that we can bring our other sport fish back.
Small one, but even these fish of this size are eating kokanee. We found that 15% of their diet is kokanee. So.
Oh, double!
Even if they just eat 10 fish a year, 143,000 times 10, that's about the number of kokanee we stock.
This is how opportunistic small lake trout can be. That's a 22-inch lake trout caught this spring when kokanee were being stocked. That is 50 small kokanee in just one fish. Another had 25 in it and another 15.
Oh yeah, it's a puppy.
These small lake trout can have a huge impact on kokanee and rainbow trout populations.
They'll gorge themselves. They were gorged so much with these small kokanee that, you know, you look at a fish's stomach, you can't see through it. You could see through the membrane and see the kokanee because it was stretched so wide.
Finally got a fish. Did you ever think we'd get to this management? I thought it was a long shot.
It was a tough sell, and it's taken a lot of years of conversation, kind of bringing all the right pieces together.
Get rid of that, right?
Get rid of that one. And unfortunately, the gorge fisheries, other sport fisheries here have really suffered.
Ripped the rod out of my hand.
The last 3 years especially. And that was kind of the final nail in the coffin that I think everybody saw, everybody felt it, and everybody knew it was time to take more drastic measures to try to get this turned around.
Just need to thin all these fish from 23 inches on down, thin them down in the reservoir so the trophy lake trout will be better, the kokanee fishing will be better, rainbow fishing. The whole fishery will benefit from these being thinned out.
Oh, your fish on there.
Right there.
That's a little better, pup. Yeah, we might need a net on this one.
Pull a little drag.
There we go, it's pup. Good pup. Good pup. That's a healthy pup.
Targeting lake trout can be a little tough for some. A good knowledge of what to use and where to target them is really important. As far as where, well, it depends on the season.
Rob's on. Right now, early October, fish are still kind of in this pre-spawn mode. So they're down fairly deep. People can jig for them or they can start trolling around. But you're really looking at depths of anywhere from 60 to 80 or even 90 feet deep.
Another nice pup. Good eating fish, a female. She's not quite ready to spawn yet.
As we get into middle of October, end of October, a lot of years those fish do end up moving a little bit shallower. So folks can have a lot of luck just casting the shore and bouncing that back from shore.
This pre-spawn, these are really ones we need to get out to there where the population grows. It's not with the males, it's with the females, but really when it's all said and done, we need to get rid of the mouths. So we'll put her in the cooler with the rest of them.
There he is. John got him. We're fishing along the cliff faces right on the break of the old river channel. The fish are stacked in 60 to 80 feet of water right on that break on the cliff. So if you look at the 2D, and that's me going down 40 feet, can't even see any fish. There's so much interference with this cliff face here, but if you come over to the live scope, you can see there's fish here. That's me dropping down. I got a fish coming off the wall to look at me, and he's on me right. I got 3 fish on me right now. That's the advantage with this live scope, is you can actually see the fish, see the structure, whereas 2D sometimes has a lot of interference, and you're not allowed, you just can't see the fish. And so this has given us confidence to stay here and to keep fishing, and we're catching. So proof is in the pudding. Yep, there he is. Stole my fish. That's the fish I was looking at.
The puppy.
Over there messing, watching Rob and catching fish. Doubling up.
So even if you just have regular sonar, one of the take-home messages here is that the fish are what we're seeing through most of September and here still in October. Early October is the fish are between 65 and about 95 foot of depth along these cliff face where there's a bit of a slope underneath the cliffs. And so you just fish in this zone, keep moving until you find fish and just keep working them. If you see on your regular sonar, you see 1 or 2 arches, there's likely 20 or 30 fish below you, so just work that area.
There he is. What? Yeah, that's not what I wanted. Little buck kokanee. Whoa, there's another one. Doubled up. Maybe we got double coats. Colored up coat. What do you got, John?
To the Lakers.
Oh yeah.
You got Lakers.
Yeah, jumping on me. The fish is going away from me. That's a big one. Big pup.
Big old buck. Big old buck. Coke. Oh, oh. Cool little guy. They're so cool looking. We'll get him back in the water so he can make some more fish for us. Maybe. Like we were saying earlier, lake trout can be a little tough to catch. What worked yesterday may not work today. But there are a few standbys that seem to outperform most other lures and techniques almost every day.
Thank you. That old yeller.
Rob and John have been successful with these 2.5-inch solar-powered tubes from Dry Creek Outfitters. The Neon Ghost, Afterglow, or Glow Minnow are all favorite colors. Just make sure any lure you use glows.
A little 2.5-inch tube with brown with a white tail and some black speckle in there. Tipped with a little bit of that cut bait again. Just enough flavor on there to help entice the strike. A couple tips are change up your presentation, change up the lure, changing colors, and also changing location. If you're on fish but they aren't active and they're dancing all around,
Little laker.
go ahead and leave that group of fish and find another one. Like, there's no problem finding schools of lake trout out here.
Oh, quality hooks. You can't skimp on the hooks. They need to be sharp and they need to be hard.
I'm using this Tikka minnow, just a little bit of cut bait on there. And watch this action. Ryan Mosley with the Utah DWR is one that turned us onto these Tikka minnows. It's a small little snap jig. It's only about 8 to 12, maybe 14 inches of a quick little jig. You're watching the line go down. If that line stops, you hit it. A lot of times when you go to jig it, you'll feel a little weight and then you just slam it. Another one coming at you hot.
Oh,
See him?
oh, just ran by. Ah.
Yes.
Who's that?
He's on. I'm watching.
Get that line here.
I'm watching yours. Little puppy. Tikka minnow. One thing with this Tikka minnow is, boy, used pliers. I just about got hooked there, but that bottom treble hook is stinking sharp. When you say dispose of properly, what does that mean?
Yeah, when we say dispose of a lake trout properly, one, we still want folks to come out, catch their fish, and if they don't want to eat them themselves, find somebody that does want them. So prepare those fish for them, fillet them, give them the prepared meat. If they don't want them, you can take them home and freeze them and throw them in your trash can. Or what we would prefer if you don't want them is to just sink them back in the lake. So those nutrients are recycled into the system again, feeding crayfish feeding lake trout, the cycle complete.
Who brought him?
It turned out to be a banner day. We ended up with close to 40 fish, while the guys on TJ and Tony's boat boated almost double that. If you're looking to learn more about catching small or even trophy lake trout, the guys at Buckboard Marina offer a great deal on guided trips. They definitely know their stuff.
Dude over there. I just keep hearing this zip, zip.
I'm gonna check my hook apparently.
A quick reminder, Rob, this is just the Wyoming side that the regulation's in effect. Utah's January 1st.
January 1st.
It's a lot of fish. Now, to be honest, our boat caught 36. Someone else's boat caught 60. That's what people get when they come out with you. You're getting 40, 50 fish a day, it sounds like.
Every trip.
And where can people come do this, TJ?
Send me a message on Facebook, BMF Outfitters. You can get a hold of me through the marina.
Okay.
Buckboardmarina.net.
The fishing's great. Get up here, catch your limit, and there's no limit. Catch as many as you want. Take them home, do whatever you want with them. That's the beauty of this new law. I'm Adam Equal, KSL Outdoors. We'll see you next weekend. Good night.